Hi friends, Sabrina from Ruth and Ruby here. I'm doing a little video takeover on the channel. So you normally don't get to see my face, but today I made some projects and Jackie wanted me to share them with you. So I was able to take these products from the Dollar Tree and Walmart and use the new spring collection from IOD to create some pretty cute spring decor pieces. So stay tuned if you would like to see the projects. Alright, so beginning with the first project, we're using the Vintage Brooches mold from the new IOD collection. I'm just priming this mold with cornstarch. So this is not the actual piece that I ended up using, but I did include this footage so you could kind of get an idea of how to use the molds if you're new to using clay with IOD molds. So this is me just taking that casting out of the mold and it came out great. So here I am using some Titebond glue to adhere that to my little egg. When I first placed this on, I didn't love where it was, so I just gently used my fingers to kind of slide it up, and then I'm also removing the excess glue. Okay, so here I am using Dixie Belle's Coffee Bean and I am mixing in some sea spray, also by Dixie Belle. This will help me to thicken the paint so that I can get the texture that I want. And right here, I'm gonna go in with Dixie Belle's Dixie Mud to cover up that seam. Now I'm going in with that paint mixture, and my first coat honestly was still not as thick as I wanted, so you'll see in a minute that I'm gonna add more. But I did go ahead and just finish that first coat of the coffee bean, and now I'm adding more. We're gonna just thicken that some more, and you'll see that I'm just pouncing because I really wanted this to have a lot of texture. Okay, so here I'm about to go in with Champness by Fusion, and I'm just gonna coat this entire egg in that color. Alright, so after that dries, I'm going to go ahead and just roughly sand it all over. In with, I believe this is Fluff by Dixie Belle. I'm just doing one coat here in the center of our little frame that we cast. Alright, so I'm going in here with recycled spring masterboard paper. As you can see, I'm just cutting out this cute little bird, doing some frayed edges so it's not so harsh when I go to put it on the mold. And I am using DIY's liquid patina here, misting the back of that paper so that it adheres a little bit better without wrinkles. And then we're going in with another coat of liquid patina. Alright, so I'm going back in with Champness by Fusion around the edge of this mold, just to kind of blend everything in together. Alright, and so right here I'm going in with Dixie Belle's Clear Coat. And now I'm going in with Dixie Belle's Gilding Wax. This is actually a mixture that Jackie and I made that is what we call antique gold. So it's a mixture of bronze and gold, and we absolutely love the finish that we get with this. So I'm taking that along the edges of the mold, but I'm also going to lightly brush this on the entire egg, as you can tell. Now I'm going in with Gator Hide by Dixie Belle. Now we are going to go ahead and get ready to glue some moss on. Somehow I lost the footage for this, but you can see that I did put the moss on. Now we're attaching our egg to this little wooden blank. So at this point I thought that I was done, but I decided it needed something else. So I went ahead and grabbed a casting that we had already done from the Blossom mold by IOD, and I went ahead and used that same gilding wax mixture that I mentioned before. I'm using a JRV stencil brush here. Okay, and now we're getting ready to glue that. I'm just using hot glue here. Honestly, I broke this trying to put it on because it was a casting that we had already done, but I actually like how it turned out. I was able to get that to stick to the egg, and I went in again with that brush just to cover up any of the white spots that might be peeking out. And this is the finished product. I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. What do you guys think? Hey you guys, I just wanted to pop in and check on you, see if you're enjoying the video so far, and I wanted to go ahead and remind you that all of the products that I used are going to be listed below in the description box, and they are all available on ruthandruby.com with the exception of like a couple things. So be sure to check that description box if you're interested in any of the products that I used in this video, and let's move on to the next project. So for the next project, we are going to be using a frame that we got from the Dollar Tree, as you can tell. So for this, I really just thought it would be fun to just make a little decor piece for the wall. I'm using coffee bean again. Alright, I'm doing another coat of that, just 2 rough coats. You know, most of it's going to be covered up. So now we're going in with Weeping Willow by Dixie Belle. And I'm going to be doing a little up close here so you can kind of see when you have these intricate designs. I like to just go in and pounce, and I love the texture that you get with that. Now I am mixing up some resin, and we're going to be using the Sparrow's Nest mold from IOD. Alright, so we're gonna just go ahead and fill that up. I'm just being careful not to flood that mold, which is so easy to do. And I'm doing 2 castings here. So I'm filling up this other bird, and as you can see, I don't fill up the end because I'm going to end up cutting that off. Demolding here, these molds are amazing. Now I'm cutting the end of the bird's feathers off because I'm going to be layering this. So you'll see in a second, just kind of moving things around to get a good feel for what I want. I end up landing on this. Okay, so now I'm going in with some sandpaper, just cleaning up some edges here. And I am sanding the bottom of this bird's feathers because, like I said, I'm going to be putting these on top of each other. So to give that layered effect, I just want to make sure that they lay there nicely. Going back in with that coffee bean to roughly paint our birds. Okay, so now I'm going to flip the bird over, and I'm just roughly going to paint the edges because, like I said, whenever that is adhered to the frame, I don't want you to be able to see the white. I'm just making a little scratch here where I've already painted so I can remember where to place my birds, and I'm gluing them down. Again, I got a little glue, but don't worry, we're going to clean it up here in a bit. And we're just going to layer these birds as best we can in the layer that I had originally decided. I'm placing these birds while they're in the frame so that I get the layout the way I want it and everything is centered properly. So now we are going in with another coat of that coffee bean. Again, I just want to make sure that none of the white is peeking through. Now I am just using a baby wipe to do a little wet distressing on this frame. Okay, now I'm going in with some bronze wax and that JRV stencil brush, and I did actually kind of combine a little bit of the black gilding wax as well with this, just so I could keep that depth. I didn't want it to be so stark and very bright bronze. Okay, so this is a cheap frame, like I said. I'm going to go ahead and just glue that back on, that way nothing falls apart. And now I'm taking that same mixture that I mentioned and going in on the frame to try to add a little bit more depth. And I actually end up going back in with a baby wipe and wiping some of that back off. And that's the finished product. I'm really happy with how this one turned out. So for this next project, I'm literally using some fast food napkins and an egg that we got from Walmart. And I'm using some liquid patina, and I'm literally just kind of like doing a paper mache type thing. This was just like the most random project. I literally just kind of molded it in my hands. As you can see, there's liquid patina all over my hands until I got the effect that I wanted, and I just kept layering the liquid patina. This project was seriously one of those projects where I was like, it may be a waste of time, it may not turn out, but let's just try. So now this is dried and I'm going in with the copper patina paint by Dixie Belle, and I'm going to paint this entire little egg. Now I'm going in with the iron patina paint by Dixie Belle. And now I am spraying this with the green and the blue, and I'm going to leave this for a few days. I ended up spraying it a couple times. Alright y'all, I lost a little bit of footage, so please forgive me, but I am adhering this to a candle cup from Hobby Lobby. So then, after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and mix up some oil wax. So I've got the natural oil wax from Sweet Pickins, and I'm going to do a literal drop of the dark wax from Sweet Pickins because I wanted to stain this, but I didn't want it to be super dark. And I really like the finish I get. I'm going to go in and I'm going to mix that up with an artist brush, and then we're going to go ahead and apply that to the candle cup. And you can see the finish of that egg now. I just forgot to film in between, so sorry you guys. Forgive me, please. And now we're just going to wipe that back, and see, I love the finish that I got from that. Okay, so we're going to go in again with that bronze and black again, because I really just wanted to kind of hide anything that might be peeking through that I don't want to be visible, but I also wanted the patina to be super visual and the big focal point for this. Now I'm going in with some Spanish moss, and we're just going to glue that again with the hot glue gun. Not pictured is me burning myself here. I survived. And I'm just going around, and I ended up doing a couple strips of this. I just went in with strips because I didn't want it to be so much and so prevalent that it kind of looked ridiculous, so I was just careful. So then here in just a second, we're going to go ahead and roll out some air dry clay, and I'm going to be using the Insignia stamp from IOD. I chose an H for obvious reasons, and I'm going to go ahead and do 2 of those. And then I'm just going to cut off the excess. And then after I cut off the excess, I'm going to go ahead and spritz a little bit of water on this wax paper. And I'm just going to use my finger to smooth the edges because I want this to look crisp and not like I just cut it. So you can see I'm just smoothing the edges of this. And then before I glue it down, you will see me go ahead and just kind of place it. I just like to do this so I give myself an idea of where I want it, because you wouldn't believe the projects that I've ruined by not doing this first. Just doing a little dollop of hot glue again. And we're going to place that down. And again, I'm going to go ahead and smooth it. I'm doing this while this is like very fresh, so I just want it to be really nice and adhered to the egg. And here's the final project. So what did you guys think? I hope you enjoyed this video and that you can excuse my rambling and the fact that this is new to me.